Hey guys, Brad Danger here, and every car person I know has said the same thing at some point. I am not a Porsche guy.
Are you sure about that?
Said it confidently too, like they had really thought it through, like it was a personality trait. Nah, Porsches are overrated. Too expensive, too boring, too corporate. I want something raw. Cool, brother. That is how it always starts. And I totally get it. I really do, because I said some of the versions of that too. Most of us did. And then slowly, quietly, one by one, we all bought one. So today, I want to talk about why that keeps happening. I'm now on my third, and I absolutely love them. Why every car journey, no matter where it starts, seems to end up in Stuttgart. And why the people who fight it the hardest are usually the ones who get there the fastest. My gateway to the Porsche life was an M3. And if you are a Porsche guy, let me know what your gateway car was to get there as well. Like, subscribe so we can hit 2 mil by the end of the year, and let's go. Now, no one really starts at Porsche, they arrive at Porsche. It is a destination, not an origin story, and almost every car you love before it is just stepping stones, whether you realize that at the time or not. Your first real sports car is usually a gateway drug, something affordable, enough to justify, exciting enough to scramble your brain chemistry, and flawed enough that you do not know exactly what you're missing yet. You know, things like Miatas, BRZs, S2000s, E46 M3s, Mustangs, Corvettes, Supras, cars like those. I mean, every one of those cars is a teacher, but none of them are the benchmark. The reason Porsche became unavoidable is simple. Every time people argued about what makes a truly great sports car, they kept landing on the same list. Steering feel, chassis balance, confidence at the limit, repeatability, a car that does not just feel exciting once, but feels right every single time. And whether people like it or not, Porsche kept winning that argument. Now, here's the part that really nobody knows. Porsche was not always untouchable. They were not always this premium engineering institution with a 70-year waitlist for a GT car. There were moments when Porsche almost completely disappeared. I mean, in the early 1990s, the company was in serious trouble. Sales had collapsed from 50,000 units in 1986 to just 14,000 in 1993. In the United States, one of their biggest markets, they were moving around 3,000 cars a year. The lineup, it was aging. The 928 and 968 were not selling. The economy, it had turned. Japanese manufacturers were building cars that were fast, reliable, and half the price. Porsche was legitimately on the brink of bankruptcy. And the thing that saved them was not the 911. It was a decision to build something completely different. The Boxster, a mid-engine roadster, affordable by Porsche standards, inspired partly by the success of the Mazda Miata. Purists, they hated the concept. Management knew it was their last shot. They hired former Toyota engineers to help redesign the assembly line and make production actually viable. And guess what, brother? It worked. The Boxster came out in 1996, and it was the best-selling Porsche of its era for years running. Then, in 2002, the Cayenne arrived, an SUV, a proper family-hauling, grocery-getting SUV with a Porsche badge. The backlash was immediate and loud. Enthusiasts called it a betrayal, a sellout, the end of a real Porsche. And those Cayenne profits funded every GT car, every GT3, every RS model, every special edition that enthusiasts now treat like religious artifact. The boring stuff built the exciting stuff. That is the real Porsche story. Okay, now this is what gets me. Every single generation of 911 has been accused of losing its soul. The air-cooled crowd said it died with the water pumpers in 1998. The hydraulic steering crowd said it died when electric assist came in. The manual crowd said it died when PDK launched. The lightweight crowd said it died when sound deadening went in. This cycle has been repeating for literally decades. Not louder, not scarier, better. This is the difference between nostalgia and engineering. Modern 911s are not raw in the way old ones were. They are precise, and precision is what separates a fun car from a truly great one. A base Carrera right now will embarrass almost everything people call a driver's car on a back road, and it will do it while feeling calm, composed, and completely predictable. That calmness is what people mistake for boredom. But boredom is not the absence of drama. It is the absence of trust. A 911 builds trust faster than almost anything else on four wheels. I mean, when I sit in mine and everything just feels like it should be exactly where it is, and it is, the pedals make sense. The steering weight is intentional. The car does not fight you. It waits for you to ask for more. When you do, it gives it to you without theatrics. This is why people who actually drive their 911s hard roll their eyes when someone online declares it is not a driver's car anymore. almost every person who says that has never pushed one. Okay, now yes, the 911 has gotten bigger. Yes, it's gotten heavier than it used to be, and yes, Porsche sells SUVs and luxury sedans now. None of that disqualifies it. A driver's car is not defined by suffering. It's not defined by how much it tries to kill you or how raw the steering feels in a parking lot. It is defined by communication. A modern 911 still communicates better than almost everything else on the road. The steering may not have the hydraulic anymore, but it is still accurate, consistent, and readable. The chassis still talks to you. The rear engine layout still gives you that completely unique traction and rotating that nothing else on this planet quite replicates. And Porsche engineered out the parts that used to punish you without purpose. Old 911s demanded respect because they could genuinely bite. New ones reward respect by letting you explore the limit safely and bring it back. That does not make them worse. It makes them usable, and usability is exactly why they became so popular. Okay, this is another factor here that nobody likes to acknowledge because it feels somewhat uncomfortable. Porsche figured out what their car means culturally better than almost anyone. They did not just sell engineering, they sold credibility. Owning a 911 says something very specific about you. It says you value substance over flash, performance without screaming for attention. You have done your research, you have driven the alternatives, you ended up here. Ferrari became fashion, Lamborghini became spectacle, McLaren became fragile genius with a maintenance budget that could fund a small country. Porsche became the choice that does not need to justify itself. And that matters way more than people are willing to admit. A 911 does not make you look like you are trying. It makes you look like you already figured it out. That is why it keeps attracting people who have been through the whole car journey. People who have owned the loud ones, the fast ones, the ones that need constant attention and still let you down. And they realize they want something that just works every single time. Now everyone fixates on the GT cars, RS models, special editions, the six-figure flipper bait. In reality though, the vast majority of the 911s on the road are regular Carreras. Base cars, lightly optioned, and those cars are the backbone of this brand. A base Carrera is still devastatingly capable, fast enough to be irresponsible, balanced enough to be rewarding, refined enough to live with it as a daily. For most drivers, that is the sweet spot. Not the halo cars, not the investment pieces, just the normal one. And the normal one is still one of the best driver's cars on earth. There's a reason that you go to any track day and half the cars are Porsches. They do not overheat, they do not melt brake pads instantly, and they do not grenade transmissions after a few hard laps. You can track one all weekend, drive it home, and do it again the following month. That reputation did not come from marketing. It came from decades of motorsports and real-world use. It earned credibility, and it matters if you actually drive your car instead of just talking about it online. So every enthusiast has their X's, the cars they loved hard and defended aggressively, the ones that made you feel alive and also made you tired. The ones you swore were just as good. Going back to those cars after owning a 911 feels like running into an ex after you've been in a healthy relationship for a few years. You remember the excitement, you remember the chaos, and then you remember why it didn't last. The steering is not as clean, the balance is not as intuitive, the compromise feels louder, and you realize how much work you were doing just to make the car feel good. A 911 does not need you to work that hard. That is the final stage of enthusiast's journey. When you stop chasing extremes and start valuing coherence, when you stop needing your car to prove something and start wanting to deliver something. This is why people say everyone eventually buys a Porsche. Not because they plan to, because they ran out of the reasons not to. And once you get there, you do not go back. You might admire other things, you might respect them, you might have crossed a line, you understand what the actual benchmark is now, and that understanding, well, it ruins you in the best way possible. I'm Brad Danger. This is Ideal. Like, subscribe so we can hit 2 mil by the end of the year. Check out some of these Ideal vids over here and promise me one thing. Buy a Porsche, keep living the ideal lifestyle.